We're currently in the desert and it's really beginning to warm up here, so we're going to head off to the cooler mountains. One of the beautiful things about this lifestyle, we can just take off. We're going to do some filming there, and if you're not already subscribed, please do so that you can be connected when those videos are released and receive alerts.
In this video, we're going to talk about what we did before we started full-time RVing, why we decided to, and how we feel about it now, over 8 years later.
So what we were doing before we decided to live and travel full-time in an RV was living in a rather big house with plenty of rooms. And we were working that 9 to 5, often more than that, and going out and buying things and bringing it home and filling the rooms and doing landscaping and gardening and just fixing and repairing and remodeling, and you know the drill, just a whole bunch of that.
Yeah, and it pretty much took up all of our time, so there really wasn't a whole lot of time to travel or go on adventures, and if we did, it was short, it was rushed, and right back to work, and it just seemed like it was time for a change.
Yeah, and you know, we did that for quite a while, and it wasn't like it was bad, but it did grow into wanting to do something else for sure.
So why did we decide to live and travel full-time in an RV? Well, it wasn't the first thing that we thought of.
No, we actually had another lingering idea that had been there for many years, and it was just something that I guess we always naturally thought would be the next thing that we did, and it was just in the background of our minds, and that was to move out more remotely onto some land and maybe live mostly, if not all, off-grid, if we could, at least to the degree that we could obtain. And so we started pursuing that, and we would go and look at land, and we would try to think about where we'd like to be and what it would look like to have things on it the way that we wanted them. And the more that we dug into it, the more we found all the things that we had to do, bringing electric there and septic and all of the things. And I guess it kind of sounded really good in the back of our minds for a long time, and it just started seeming like a lot more of what we were already doing. A lot of work, a lot of attention that would keep us there and keep us pretty much tied down. And there's nothing wrong with that for people that's what they want to do, but this wasn't actually what we wanted to do. And until we really ran that through and started pursuing it and doing the research, we really didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, and not in terms of all the stuff that you had to do, but just in terms of what it meant to, is that really what we wanted to do?
Yeah, so, it seemed like it was kind of going in the wrong direction from more towards things that we were trying to get away from. So when we started thinking about the RV, of course, at first we had a lot of those romantic notions of
traveling every state and maybe writing a book and all the 48 states in a year or whatever, those kind of things just kind of pass through our mind. And again, great ideas for people that want to do that, absolutely nothing wrong with that, but it really wasn't what we were after. So we ended up just putting those aside, and we thought, wow, why don't we just head into it with a general idea of what we want to do, which was to immerse ourselves in areas and kind of be more in taking our time than vacation mode or any of those things. We just didn't want to be feeling like we were scheduled and had to tick off this state or this park or this type of thing. So, and that's what we did.
Yeah, two of the things that we were really interested in doing was being able to avoid long periods of extreme weather, whether it's heat and humidity of the south or rain, snow, sleet, gray weather of the north. And since we're unable to afford multiple houses in different locations, a house that we could move seemed like a really good idea. We're able to do that. We're able to avoid, like now, we're in the desert where it's getting very hot, so we're gonna head up to the mountains. Another thing that we did want to do was to work less, not more.
And that is kind of like trading off money, which we used to have to make a pile of because we had things that we had to pay for. And so we decided that we would exchange things for memories, and that we would make less to do more. It sounds a little bit like you can't do less with more, but in some cases you can. And so that's what we set out to do. And we wanted to see a lot of nature and wildlife, and just
Yeah.
kind of, like Susan said, if we want to go to the mountains, we go to the mountains. The beach, we go to the beach. We didn't have to buy multiple places, and it just seems like it's a lot easier and less overhead to,
Yeah.
to just kind of own it while we're there.
Yep.
So how is living and traveling full-time in an RV going for us now that we've been doing it for 8 years? Well, in short, I'd say it's going well enough to not want to change it in terms of going back to the way that we lived before.
Yeah, only change it in adding more adventure and more creativity, which translates into going more places and doing more videos.
Yeah, we have compared this back and forth a few times to how would it be if we were still living the way that we used to live in a house and that type of thing. And we just keep coming back to it would be more expensive, and the greatest expense for us would be our happiness. We're just happy doing what we're doing, and as long as we are happy doing what we're doing, we want to continue doing it.
Yeah, it's not perfect, as every lifestyle has its issues. Things still go wrong, things still break down, but
Yeah, you go out in the sun, you still get sunburnt wherever you're at, that type of thing. It's possible. And yeah, when the things are breaking, we got to fix them. There's bills to pay. There's, life keeps coming at us, but we just want it to come at us doing what we enjoy doing. So it's a little bit more fun that way, rather than being stuck in a rut and living a life that we really don't enjoy. And so this way, at least when those things are going on, we're still kind of doing the things that we like to do.
yeah.
And now we're off to new adventures, and we'd love for you to stay connected with us.
Please remember to share, subscribe, and click on that little notification bell. Thanks for watching.
In late spring and early summer, many plants and cacti in the Sonoran Desert are blooming. Among them is the saguaro bloom. The saguaro bloom is the Arizona state flower. It's generally about 3 inches in diameter and white in color. The bloom typically lasts for about 24 hours and then is transformed into an edible fruit that helps provide sustenance for the desert wildlife.